Tonight, President Donald Trump addresses the nation from the White House. Millions will tune in as he reflects on the past year and outlines his vision for 2026. The speech is set for 9 p.m. Eastern, a moment of national focus. Trump will highlight his accomplishments and preview new policies. Expect a speech that looks back and lays out a roadmap for the future, delivered in Trump's signature style. For Americans, it's a chance to hear directly from their leader about the state of the country. The stakes are high, and the president's words tonight could shape the political landscape. The country is watching, and the world is listening. All eyes are on the White House. One of the week's biggest stories: President Trump's blockade of Venezuelan oil tankers. On December 16, Trump ordered a total blockade on ships under U.S. sanctions, barring them from Venezuelan ports. The move is designed to pressure President Nicolas Maduro by cutting off vital oil revenue. About 40% of Venezuela's oil tankers are affected, targeting the regime's main source of income. The U.S. hopes to weaken Maduro's grip on power, but the blockade has global consequences. Venezuela's government has condemned the action, calling it a violation of international law and ordering its navy to escort tankers. Tensions are rising in the Caribbean, with the risk of a direct U.S.-Venezuela confrontation. The world is watching this dangerous standoff unfold. The U.S. has previously seized Venezuelan oil shipments, and officials warn more seizures could follow. Not all companies are affected. Chevron, for example, still operates in Venezuela under a special U.S. license. The policy is complex, with exceptions even as pressure mounts on Maduro. The blockade's impact is felt not just in Venezuela, but across global oil markets. For the people of Venezuela, the stakes are high. Economic hardship could deepen. For the U.S., it's a bold gamble in foreign policy. The situation remains volatile, with the potential for escalation at sea. The blockade is a test of American resolve, and of the world's response. As the crisis deepens, the next move could shape the future of both nations. The story is far from over. The world waits for what comes next. The high seas have become the latest front in a global power struggle. President Trump has described the blockade as the largest armada ever assembled in South America. He vows the military presence will grow until Venezuela returns what he calls stolen oil and assets. Trump's rhetoric links today's crisis to Venezuela's 1970s nationalization of its oil industry, framing the blockade as a quest for justice. The message: America will use its strength to reclaim what it lost. But the situation is complicated by global players. China buys about 80% of Venezuela's oil, often through private companies. Even with the blockade, oil may still flow to buyers like China, raising questions about the strategy's effectiveness. Foreign policy experts are divided. Can the U.S. really choke off Venezuela's oil lifeline? Trump's approach is classic America first, using economic and military pressure to protect U.S. interests. The blockade is a bold move, but it carries risks for the region and for America's global standing. The world is watching to see if this show of force will bring results, or unintended consequences. The stakes are high, and the outcome is uncertain. For now, the armada remains and the pressure mounts. The U.S. is betting on strength to achieve its goals. Whether that bet pays off remains to be seen. The next chapter in this standoff is about to unfold. In Washington, another battle rages, this time over health care. The Affordable Care Act's subsidies, which help 22 million Americans afford insurance, are set to expire January 1, 2026. If they lapse, millions could see their health costs skyrocket. Congress is locked in a fierce debate. Democrats want to extend the subsidies, while many Republicans oppose them. The Trump administration stands firmly against extension, calling for broader healthcare reform instead. Vice President J.D. Vance argues the current system is broken and needs a complete overhaul. With the deadline looming, the pressure is on lawmakers to act. The fate of the subsidies is a test of political power, and will directly impact millions of families. The debate highlights deep divisions in American politics and the stakes for everyday Americans. Healthcare remains a top concern for voters, and the outcome could shape the next election. The clock is ticking, and the consequences are real. Will Congress find a solution, or will gridlock prevail? The answer will affect not just policy, but people's lives. The fight over Obamacare subsidies is a defining moment for both parties. The nation waits for a resolution. The future of healthcare hangs in the balance. In a dramatic twist, 4 centrist House Republicans joined Democrats to force a vote on extending Obamacare subsidies. Using a rare discharge petition, they bypassed Speaker Mike Johnson, who opposed the move. The petition succeeded, guaranteeing a House vote in early January. This bold action exposes deep divisions within the Republican Party. Some members fear political backlash if subsidies expire and health costs rise. Bipartisan cooperation is rare, but on this issue, lawmakers crossed party lines. The bill's fate in the Senate is uncertain, but the House vote is a political victory for subsidy supporters. Every member of Congress will now be on record as the new year begins. The fight is far from over, but the debate is now front and center. Beyond policy, legal drama continues to grip Washington. Former special counsel Jack Smith testified behind closed doors about his investigations into Trump. Smith insisted he alone decided to charge Trump, claiming proof of a criminal plan to overturn the 2020 election. Yet the cases never went to trial. One dismissed, one dropped after Trump's 2024 victory. The controversies linger, fueling partisan divides. For Trump's supporters, the investigations are political attacks. For opponents, they're about the rule of law. Meanwhile, Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino is set to depart, possibly returning to media. His tenure saw internal disputes, including over the Epstein files. These personnel changes reflect ongoing tensions between the Trump administration and law enforcement institutions. The legal battles may be over, but the political fallout continues. Washington remains deeply divided. The shadow of these investigations still looms over the Capitol. The story of power and accountability is far from finished. The Trump administration is making major moves on military and security fronts. The Senate passed a $900 billion defense bill, including a 3.8% pay raise for troops and $800 million in aid for Ukraine. The bill restricts troop reductions in Europe and demands more transparency on recent U.S. military strikes in the Caribbean. These strikes, targeting alleged drug boats, have sparked controversy after nearly 100 deaths since September. At home, thousands of National Guard troops are deployed in Washington, D.C., to combat crime and assist with immigration enforcement. The deployment could last through summer 2026, raising civil liberties concerns. On immigration, the administration plans to ramp up denaturalization cases, targeting those accused of fraud. The number of cases will rise sharply, signaling a tougher stance. The travel ban has also expanded to more countries. These policies reflect a continued focus on strict immigration enforcement and national security. The administration's approach is assertive, both abroad and at home. Critics warn of overreach, while supporters see strength. The debate over security and freedom is intensifying. The nation is watching how these policies unfold. The balance between safety and liberty is once again in the spotlight. On the economic front, the administration has launched Trump Accounts, a new savings program for children born between 2025 and 2028. Each child receives $1,000 in a tax-advantaged account, with private partners like BlackRock and the Dell family pledging billions in support. The goal: give every child a financial head start and encourage a culture of saving. But economic challenges persist. Unemployment has risen to 4.6%, the highest since 2021. Job losses in October were only partially offset by gains in November. Polls show Trump's approval at 39%, with most Americans feeling the economy isn't working for them. 70% say the cost of living is unaffordable. The new savings plan is a step, but broader economic woes remain. The administration faces mounting pressure to deliver results. For many families, financial anxiety is growing. The economy is a central issue for 2026 and for Trump's legacy. The question: can new policies turn the tide? This week's events reveal a nation at a crossroads. From the Venezuelan blockade to the healthcare fight, the stakes are enormous. President Trump's address is a chance to chart a path forward amid global and domestic challenges. The world is watching America's next move. Will it lead or retreat, unite or divide? The outcome of these debates will shape millions of lives and the country's role in the world. Legal and political battles test trust in government and the rule of law. The choices made now will echo for years. America faces big questions: security or freedom, support or austerity, engagement or isolation. The answers will define the nation's future. This is a pivotal moment. one that demands attention, understanding, and action.